allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everybody. We have the minutes, please. I'm sorry, roll call, please.
Joan,
Here.
Graham,
Here.
Sims,
Present.
Asquith,
Here.
Rivas,
Here.
Brickner.
Here. We have a quorum. Now the minutes, please.
Hereby notice is given to the taxpayers of Porter County that the following appropriations and adjustments to the budget are brought forth to the county council for their consideration. General fund, hourly, an additional $34,000. Lease payments, reduction of $115,960. Psychiatric services, an additional $10,000. Clerk perpetuation fund, contractual services, $15,000. Public safety data tech, contractual services, $852. Foundation maintenance agreements, an additional of $11,590.51. School resource officers reimbursement fund per an additional $40,000. Fatality review fund, other services and charges, $10,000. Sheriff DEA proceeds lease payments, an additional of $116,548. Asthma grant, other supplies, an additional $2,000. Training and education, $5,300. Printing other than office supplies, $1,500. Westchester Public Library rainy day fund, an additional of $953,350. First reading.
Thank you for the first reading. Any questions on that? No? Okay, good. First up, we have the commissioners.
We gotta do the minutes, Joyce said.
I'm sorry, all those in favor of acceptance of the, oh, we just did the, was that the minutes or the first reading?
That's first reading.
First reading.
Yep, we're good.
He went fast.
Yep, we're good. Commissioners. You have a transfer $1,500 from equipment and other vehicles to care of patients and inmates.
I really don't know anything about that one. Maybe Jeff does.
Okay, want to table this one?
I asked Scott McClure if he knew what that was, and he thought that was some kind of federal inmate transfer. No?
This is transfer of $1,500 from Commissioner's General Fund, a transfer from equipment and other vehicles to care of patients and inmates because the account is depleted, according to our notes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. I don't know how I got on the agenda.
Make a motion, we table it?
Yeah, go ahead.
We have a motion and a second to table that one. All those in favor by saying aye to table this one.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll table it.
Thank you.
Sure. Next on the commissioners is ARPA COVID Fiscal Recovery Fund. This is a transfer of $307,952 from MOH contractual to contractual services. ARPA money transfer needed for judges' audio equipment.
So we had, in the state legislature, in their infinite wisdom, gave us an unfunded mandate that we have to be able to record all of the trials, and that anybody can ask for a recording. And that has to be in place by the end of the year. And it's a significant dollar amount, and so we started looking at where we could potentially pull funds from. And since the Memorial Opera House is well on its way, and we had a really good understanding of what that was going to cost, we felt that we could pull funding from there. We still have $250,000 in a contingency just in case something does come up, but Skillman feels very comfortable with where we are, and I did not do that without consulting them. So,
Okay.
anybody have any questions on that?
Any questions for Commissioner Regnitz?
No, we've talked earlier, and you said it is a complete new heating and air conditioning?
Yes. So everything that we presented over a year ago in terms of the scope, all of that is being done, other than the restrooms. We were not able to do that because that was going to potentially add another $2 million. So we were not able to do that. But everything else on that list is being done.
So where does this fall under, like, I understand it has to be done. It was talked about last year a couple times. But it's a transfer, is that staying within, because there was certain projects, right, that you guys had to pass ordinance for, and they had to fall under, you know, and there's descriptions underneath that.
Right?
I mean,
We are modifying the ordinance, the ARPA ordinance for this. So, and we consulted with the auditor on where we should move these funds. So we did not just do this arbitrarily.
So you still have to modify you still have to amend the ordinance? Is that?
Yes. We had first reading, we'll have second reading on June 4th.
And you believe that the Opera House, there's enough money to do everything? It came in under budget, or
The bids came in very well, and we still have $250,000 in contingency just in case something should come up that we weren't expecting.
Just talking about ARPA though, do we know where we're at with, I think we talked about it briefly, like where we're at with all the organizations that were granted money, you know, because there's some timelines on stuff, so I know it's not completely tied to this, but I mean,
Well, they all had a deadline of June 1st to get their commitments in. So we're really close on all of it.
Everybody that was awarded has started their projects. If you'd like, we can send an updated list of all the claims and everything, so you guys can take a look at everything, but everybody's well underway.
yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
So we don't anticipate getting any money or not allocating the money that's granted out.
We don't have any unallocated, unspoken for money at this point. None.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, we need
I make a motion, transfer contingent, the approval of Thursday's meeting?
Next Tuesday's meeting,
Yep. On your
June 4th.
June 4th meeting.
Yeah.
we have a
And
motion.
this is complete, everything that they will need,
Everything.
nothing hidden,
And more.
Second.
more.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be beautiful, so. Greg knows. It's going to be stunning, Sylvia.
Okay.
Anything else, Sylvia?
Nope.
Second. Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
County Court, Judge Clymer. Judge?
So I know it looks strange, but the $10,000 for psychiatric services is not for the judges.
Oh, wait a second.
To the extent that it says county court, our courts all use the same fund to pay for psychiatric evaluations of criminal defendants. For a criminal defendant to go to trial, they have to be competent, or to plead guilty, they have to be competent. And in some cases, there's a determination as to whether or not someone was legally insane at the time that they committed a crime. So we need to pay for those examinations. Our spending on psychiatric examinations has gone up this year in part for two reasons. Number one, we've had more evaluations based on the cases that have been brought before the courts. And number two, one of the doctors who has done the examinations for years has increased his prices somewhat. But his prices are still comparable to everybody else, and he gets the reports done quickly. So we need $10,000, which we anticipate holding us over through the rest of the year, but it depends on
Depends on.
crimes.
Motion to approve.
Motion, I second it.
We have a motion and a second for the additional $10,000. Roll call, please. Any other questions, first of all? No? Roll call, please.
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Rivas,
Yes.
Brickner,
Yes. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. The sheriff didn't arrest enough people. He was-
Clerk, Jessica?
Those might be the right.
Okay, we have an additional $15,000 to contractual services from the Clerk Perpetuation Fund, appropriation needed to assist the Commissioners and Facilities Department with paying for moving and reassembly of the clerk shelving unit.
Motion approved.
Second.
Didn't we pay for some of these costs at the end of last year too? That's what I remember.
We moved 5 years ago from the Portage Courthouse to 157. Now we're moving from 157 to the Valpo Courthouse.
I swear at the end, we approved some money at the end of the year.
So you're moving back?
Yes.
Did you know it was going to be a temporary move?
No. It's been a great project.
You have room for these to go back in your other office?
It's not in our office, it's where probation used to be, because probation moved to 157.
Okay. Wow. That's tight.
Yeah. Good thing is everything will be under one building, all in one building, so in inclement weather, we won't have to be sending people from the courthouse over to 157 to grab files when the Portage courts need them. So there is a silver lining to all of this.
I was worried. I mean, you want us to deny this? You don't seem very enthused.
I know.
Like,
It's been a project.
Well, the ending is in sight.
Yes, the engine is in sight. All the election equipment will be able to fit at 157. So it'll be a better environment for all of that, more temperature controlled. So that's silver lining there. It's just a lot of work to get it all done.
Do you see expansion coming so that you may have to move again? I'm not being facetious, I'm asking a real question.
No, I hope not, because we're now paperless. All of these files are pre-Odyssey.
Okay.
So you have the motion.
We have a motion and a
A
second.
second. Yep. Yes, you do.
Roll call, please.
Sims,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Rivas,
no.
Brickner,
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
It was coming.
Yes.
got a real no or?
What a real no. Put a smile on her face.
Thank you.
See you later, Jeff.
Thank you. Health Department?
Ooh. Do we, another no? Nothing. Just seeing if there's a no in this
He used his no.
turn.
We have an additional 2,000 to other supplies, additional 5,300 to training and ed, 1,500 to printing, other than office supplies, appropriation need to facilitate staff training, supply and education material procurement for the asthma program. This is coming out of your asthma grant fund.
Yes, we just received a new grant from the Department of Health, Indiana Department of Health, for a capacity building grant for an asthma program. So this is a program we've wanted to start in the department, and this came out as an opportunity to, the grant is to train employees to purchase some operating supplies and then educational materials. And so we're just appropriating the funds that were received from the state. And it's a quick turnaround for the training and to get your education, to get your program up. We have to have everything spent by the end of August.
Mr. President, make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
So,
I do.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
no,
Sims.
how does this work? I mean, is it just telling people what asthma is? Is it people that have asthma trying to get them treatment? It sounds interesting, but
Yeah, so it can work in different ways. So we can have someone referred from a provider's office to us, in which case it will kind of work in the way that our lead program does. So there will be an environmental component and a nursing component. So the nurses will work with the patients on education about asthma and asthma triggers and controlling their asthma and making sure that they have an asthma plan, making sure that they have all the proper supplies that they need to correctly manage that. So, of course, making sure that they have access to their prescriptions, that they have the spacer to use their inhaler correctly, peak flow meters. And then also on the environmental side, it'll actually be going into their home and doing an assessment for asthma triggers, making suggestions, educating them on that kind of thing. So it's the training for, I think it's 5 employees that are being trained, 3 environmentalists, our care coordinator, and one of the nurses. And we have a nurse who's going to be the head of the program, and they'll work together to go out and do those things.
so is it possible that triggers for asthma could be in the workplace as well as the home? So is that,
Yeah.
could
Yes.
they go in the workplace too then?
Yeah, we haven't, I mean,
I don't, this is really intriguing. I'm impressed, you know.
That would depend upon the employee.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just seems to make sense, right? I mean,
yeah.
This
Okay.
will,
No,
well,
it's
this,
cool.
Most of us are allergic to work, Greg, yeah.
We'll do the assessment on your workplace first.
Well,
Is this program for those who have had asthma or those who are new? I'm asking for a friend.
Oh, absolutely. So it will be for either patients that are in our office that are identified as needing, of course, we'll speak with them about their asthma and just feel free to chime in, and make sure that they have all the information. If we think they need an assessment, then the referral will come directly from us. But also providers will be able to refer to us. So it can be either, right? Depending on whether it's somebody that's new, definitely, or somebody whose asthma isn't as well controlled.
Second question, if they're traveling to people's homes and possibly the workplace, that's travel money, is it not?
Well, so we have vehicles, but yes, I mean, as far as the gas for the vehicles, but they use our health department vehicles, yes.
Is that budgeted, kind of?
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you for asking.
I look at this, that you'll be possibly treating youth for the first time they're coming in with, so that'll be a great point, because they need a lot of support.
Yes, and part of what we do anyway is work with the schools on the school, because schools are required to have a whole school asthma plan, and making sure that, and they all do, each of them have that, and that they also have the supplies that they need as well.
Okay.
pretty cool.
Any other questions or comments? Very good, thank you. Roll call, please.
Rivas.
Yes.
Oh,
Brickner.
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
They're smiling.
yes.
Oh, did you call me? Yeah. Yes.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sheriff Ballin. All right.
Hello.
Does a police car trigger asthma?
People.
Yeah. Some people who are under stress, yes, sir.
They can be allergic to us. Hello.
Sheriff. All right, we have here opioid restricted fund, Form 144, 60,000. Is there a reduction? Reduced 56,000. Police resource and outreach associate. Reduction of $4,000 to the police resource and outreach associate. Is that the social worker?
Yeah, that's the second one we hired. Basically, she does not have her master's as of yet. She's in the process of completing it. So because of that, we're not going to pay her the same amount as someone who has their master's, such as Sam. Plus, Sam is also the supervisor. So once she gets her master's degree finished, then we'll reevaluate that income. But upon doing like a pay scale comparison, we felt like it would be good to start her out at 54,000 or 56,000 rather than 60.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Graham.
Yes.
Sims.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Rivas.
Yes.
Brickner.
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
6.
Motion carries. Sheriff General Fund. We have an additional 34,000 to hourly appropriation needed to cover the cost of part-time employees working transports and court security.
Okay, just routine business that we do, and we just came to you for the funding to keep the part-time people going for what it's saying, the transportation and the court security details.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and a second.
What do
Was
we,
this an unexpected addition or
No.
from budgeting from last year to this year? Or why the additional now?
Just because of nothing more, just when we budget annually, usually we're allotted so much, and then when we use it up, we just come and ask for more.
so you've used up, you're getting close already?
We are getting close already. Part of it is because we've been short employees, and so they've been moving employees around in the jail, using the part-time employees more.
Okay, any other questions, comments on this?
So this should last how long?
The rest of the year.
The end of the year?
Yes, ma'am.
We have a motion and a second.
Yes, we did.
Roll call, please.
Graham.
Yes.
Sims.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Rivas.
Yes.
Brickner.
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
6.
Okay. Now we have a reduction of $115,960 lease purchase reduction needed because of cost of 2024 payment for the Axon Taser lease with the additional 4 tasers out of the Sheriff DEA Forfeiture Proceeds Fund. Can you kind of,
So basically, believe it or not, we're coming here to give some money back.
Oh,
$115,000.
We'll take it in 20s.
All right. And we're gonna make that purchase and pay for that, a couple items down, out of our seizure fund.
Motion to approve the
Second?
okay, we have a motion and a second on the reduction. Roll call, please.
Sims.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Rivas.
Yes.
Brickner.
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
Graham.
yes.
6.
Okay. Next, you have an additional 40,000 moving to perf. This appropriation need to equal the correct percentage of the salary for 2024. This is for the SRO or an SRO.
For all the SROs, this is to pay for their, basically, for them to work the road this summer. The schools cover most of the salaries and everything for when they are in school. Now that we're hitting summertime, they will be moved back to the road to help cover shifts. And this is to pay for that.
Make a motion to approve, Mr. President.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions or?
How many SROs are there? Is that
3.
3? Thank you, sir.
Anything else? Roll call, please.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Rivas.
Yes.
Brickner.
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
Sims.
Yes.
6.
Next, we have an additional $116,548 to lease purchase appropriation to cover the cost of 2024 payment. This is for the Taser lease. This is coming out of your forfeiture proceeds fund.
Yes.
Okay.
Just what we talked about. Make a motion to approve, Mr. President.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for this additional. Any questions, comments?
So it's basically an increase of 588 from the 116 that we just dropped?
Yes,
Okay.
because we added the 4 additional tasers, and it's over the 4 years of the lease.
Okay.
It was a small amount.
Just curious.
Any other questions in relation to this? No. Roll call, please.
Brickner.
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
Sims.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Rivas.
Yes.
6.
Okay. The jail, Public Safety Data Tech Fund, this is an additional $852 to contractual services, appropriation to cover the cost of 2024 price increase for the policy and manual SOP services.
Make a motion to approve, Mr. President.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Seeing none? Roll call, please.
Stone.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
Sims.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Rivas.
Yes.
Brickner.
Yes.
6.
Okay, next, Federal Prison DOC General Fund. This is a transfer, $25,000 from ammunition to
Motion to approve.
overtime. We have a
Second.
motion
Second.
and a second on the transfer. Any questions, comments? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Bless you.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Very good. Thanks,
Thank you.
Sheriff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, great job with the memorial. It was outstanding.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Cool. I encourage anyone who hasn't seen it, go see it.
Yes. The phrase you put on there was absolutely perfect.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Appreciate you guys being there.
yeah, that was good. Thank you.
Coroner? Cindy? How are you? We have additional.
How are you?
We have an additional $10,000 request to other services. Appropriation needed to cover hospital fees for autopsies through the end of the year coming out of your coroner fatality review fund.
Yes.
Here we go again with the autopsy, favorite thing,
Yeah, we have to pay,
next to a new van.
yeah. We
All
have to
right.
pay the hospital each time we have an autopsy, and we've had a lot of autopsies, so.
Do you have a lot of them?
Yeah, we've, as of yesterday, we've had 50 already.
Well, how many do you have, what would be your normal number this time of year? What would be seeing how it's an increase, what did you have last year?
We had 30 last year. Yeah,
By this time
we have,
last year?
yeah,
Whole year,
Didn't you say,
no, just at this time, as of
this
yesterday.
time last year?
Yeah, we had 30 last year, and we have 50 this year.
Your best guess, you think this will cover it for the end of the year?
I'm hoping so,
So, okay.
yeah. Because the most we've had so far is like 101. I think that was 2 years ago. Last year, we had 91.
Just out of curiosity, what's it cost per autopsy? Or do they vary?
Well, it we have to pay the hospital to use the morgue, and we have to pay the hospital. We do get discounts on any x-rays or blood work, any additional services that we need, and then we just pay the pathologist monthly.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Graham.
yes?
Sims.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Rivas.
Yes.
Brickner.
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
6.
Thanks, Cindy.
Right, thank you.
E911.
Good job.
Okay, we have an additional $11,590.51 going to maintenance agreements, appropriation needed for the cost difference reflected in the Motorola Solutions change order number 3 for the Nimble server storage upgrade out of your foundation fund.
Yes. So this was unexpected when I believe the contract was signed initially. We purchased 11 terabytes of storage. With the massive amount of data that we are migrating, Motorola said and advised that at the rate of expansion, we're probably looking at 2 to 3, maybe 4 years after we go live, in which that 11 terabytes will be used. And to be proactive and for cost
reasons, they've advised to purchase this now so that we have ample storage when the time comes. In addition, if we wait, then you could possibly encounter bogging down of the system or even crashing of the system. So this is proactive in nature as well as fiscally responsible.
Make a motion to approve, Mr. President.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second for discussion. I'd like to know, you don't have any other funds or other places that this could come out of?
Well, no, not necessarily. I have, last year, the budget probably reflected that there was a lot left in my maintenance agreement. However, that money is placed there because once we go live, that's when Motorola will begin taking that maintenance payment out yearly. And so in the past, you've probably seen that I've had ample money in that line item. We are anticipating going live this year, and we will have that maintenance fee annually will begin as soon as we go live.
Debbie, I got a, I don't know if this is a dumb question. There's an MOU with other agencies for this contract?
Yes.
And I'm looking at the spreadsheet, and it has Porter County 911 at their share, $11,590, and Porter County Sheriff as their share, $6,149. Those list Portage, Valpo, Jefferson, and Porter. Does it seem like the county's paying for two of its agencies out of the county for the same MOU? Am I reading something?
How I came to these numbers was I pulled the MOU that was established initially when the contract was signed. And I broke down those payments that are for the equipment lease yearly and also the maintenance. And I was able to, based on those numbers, establish a percentage that at that time was agreed upon and contractually everyone signed off on. So that's the percentage amount that I used when I got this change order. This change order, actually, if you'll notice, I know I sent you a lot of literature over the past couple months about it, so I'll kind of break it down. We had a change order. This is our third change order. With our second change order, we had actually not done some of the interface work that was built out in the contract, so they were giving us a credit, which I negotiated with Motorola, just dump it now so that we have, so this drops our third change order cost a little bit lower, which it did, to the total of $25,569.19. Regarding the MOU, Attorney McClure has sent out to all the municipalities a letter with this information. And I believe that was sent within the past few months. He had to get approval from the commissioners for that letter. He shared it with me and he sent that out. So in fairness, I have not received any correspondence or questions from any of the other agencies within this agreement regarding their cost, but I know that this $11,590, I had not budgeted it last budget cycle, so that's why I'm coming before you today.
Well, I guess my question, and again, it seems like the Porter County, we fund Porter County 911 and Porter County Sheriff. Shouldn't Porter County, like, as one totality, be one portion of the MOU instead of, it seems like we're funding, seems like 911 pays 11,000, the sheriff pays 6,000, everybody else pays the balance, but we fund both agencies.
Yeah, so I mean, I talked with the sheriff about this today, and we all pull from the same pot. However, because each entity was responsible for their own portion of this annually, I didn't feel that it was in my purview to ask for money from that another agency in the current MOU with the maintenance cost and the equipment cost. If I would be happy to work out with the sheriff if he'd like me to increase this request to incorporate his department as well. I just know that with my budget, based on the current MOU, that's how I came up with these numbers.
Okay. Any other questions?
How many other counties in the state use this kind of system?
P1? Premier One, Motorola, well, I know that Indianapolis uses Premier One. I know that St. Joe uses Premier One.
Okay, okay, do you know how they bill? How do they bill this? Like, the question is, from Brickner was, again, why is the county bearing a brunt of this fee? If the other counties are using the same system, do we know how they are splitting this up amongst their entities?
I do not know that answer. I know that from obviously the percentage that was established initially was prior to my tenure here. However, if I understand it correctly, that was agreed upon based on call volume, and also, I think, from the 911 perspective, I mean, we have our hands in every call within the county, so I believe that it was based on call volume. And population, sorry, and population too, was another metric.
Okay.
I just had a question. Is there a reason that this wasn't used as a transfer formula instead of additional? Because you said you have it in your maintenance agreement, so I was just wondering why you chose the additional.
Because, as I stated, my maintenance agreement, when we go live, it will not be there because our maintenance agreement, I believe, yearly is over $90,000. So we do anticipate going live this year, and so with that, my maintenance budget is pretty tight right now, including I believe I increased my maintenance line item last year 15,000 for our increased some of this, what inflation has caused for that budget line item, and that's why I had not budgeted for $11,590 for this.
And what about the surcharge? Is that able to cover any of these costs? You have a substantial amount in your surcharge.
Well,
Does it cover any of the maintenance or the equipment?
I could go back and look at eligible expenses. However, as we discussed, with the wage increase and also the money that was moved in there from the E911 and internet service, as well as our training budget that's been moved in there, it is not solvent. So we know that we do have a surplus at this time, but we have already discussed at both last budget cycle and the previous budget cycle that will be just dipping into that surplus we have, and that's obviously, as we all are aware, that's not something you can bank on consistently.
How much is in there in surplus?
Looking right now, right?
Yes, and it was, I believe, last year was 1.7, so it is, we have dipped into that. We moved, our first year, we moved two line items into there. We've now removed the additional equipment line item because I purchased fire station alerting equipment last year with that. We've kept the training budget, which was moved in there, not last budget cycle, but the previous. And the auditor's department moved in part of our E911 internet services in there. Now, however, that has to be split because there are eligible expenses that can be taken from the surcharge. Some of our 911 phone and internet services do not fall within those eligible expenses, so that had to be split.
Do we have were you looking for a balance of the surcharge, or is that what you asked? Yeah. How much was in there?
I thought
You said
they
they're
said
Still looking?
$1 million something, didn't you say?
1.5, yes.
539,000.
I'm sorry?
1,539,000.
I'm just going to defer to you for a second. Karen,
We would have to file an additional advertisement to go underneath that fund, since we've already advertised under the.
but this isn't like an immediate thing anyway. You don't even have the other money from the other agency.
Time to review those numbers you were talking about.
I'm sorry?
Would give her time to review those numbers you were asking about.
So we table it and see if we can find,
That's up to you.
I would prefer that if it's doable, to see if we can find these funds, if we can use them out of the surcharge money. I don't know what anybody else thinks about that.
I do have a question regarding the funds that you had in question. Is if there's some type of review regarding the percentages that I broke down this cost for, I don't know that it's within my purview to establish that metric, I believe that was established probably at a county attorney level. Again, I just pulled these percentages from the MOU that was established at contract signing.
And the MOUs have already been accepted by the municipalities.
Then I think these numbers are static.
Yep.
That's where I would say with these numbers anyway, the cost to each agency.
Is the reason the county is so high, I mean, because those are all, say, you know, police department, we cover half the county for ambulance service. Are those our calls? Are we absorbing that? Is that why that percentage, or you don't?
This is related, to give you a little bit of background, this is related entirely to police data. So fire data is not stored within Porter County. Fire data they have purchased their own software companies. Some of them go through Fire Program, PSO, Mobilize. There's an array of software programs that hold the fire services data. We do not store that. We store all of the police department's data within this county. So that's why this is police department only and specific.
Okay. I want to make, I guess I could make a motion to amend. Do we have a motion on this already?
I made a motion, I don't know if it was second, I withdraw my motion.
I was just going to see if the council would entertain maybe tabling this until we
For the
can
next meeting?
have some time to explore other funding.
Do you feel like there's any emergency, that you're comfortable in us tabling it till the next meeting?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think there's a sense of urgency until the next meeting. I think we'd be fine.
Okay, thank you. I'll make a motion, we table it till the next meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to table this, and we can explore with the auditor
Right.
maybe some alternatives of where to take the money from and go from there. So we have that motion and a second. Any other discussion or questions? Okay.
We have to vote on it.
Is this since we're not going with the additional on the table, is this a roll call or voice? Okay, all those in favor by tabling this signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thanks, Debbie.
Thanks, Deb. This is what we talked before you
It
and I?
is, yes.
Okay.
Okay, Memorial Opera House. Megan.
Megan's not here.
Is Megan here?
Come on, Megan.
Anybody from the Memorial Opera House here?
No, this week.
Okay.
Motion we table till next month.
That's really odd.
Second.
Yeah, okay, we have a motion and a second, maybe something's come up, to table this until we have somebody from the Opera House here that can discuss this. All those in favor to table this signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries to table MOH. Okay, Westchester Public Library. Hi. Okay, we have a additional request, $953,000, $953,350 to the other services and charges. Reason Westchester Public Library requests the additional appropriation from its own savings and reserves to rainy day fund to replace the leaky roof and failing HVAC. This looks like it's coming out of your rainy day fund.
Okay, Val.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions or comments reference to this?
What do you have in that rainy day fund?
I don't have that number off the top of my head. I believe it's an additional 3 million on top of what we're requesting tonight.
Does that come from all late fees? I'll turn the book. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah.
I make a motion, we approve the 953,350. Thank you for saving up your rainy day fund and using it for operations.
Thank you.
Daughter loves using the library. She was just today with her little audit
Oh, good, good.
services, flashcards, and she could,
Yeah.
how much stuff there was for her kids.
Awesome.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
We have a motion? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. All right. We have a motion and a second to approve. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Brickner. Brickner,
Yes.
Stone,
Yes?
Graham,
Yes.
Bozak, I'm sorry, Stone,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes, I just,
Rivas,
Yes.
Six.
Pop Rod.
Yeah, he would have, I asked the questions for him what the balance was, and Bob was here in spirit.
Thank you.
That balance. Doing.
Take
all
care.
that money.
Thank-
just out of just out of curiosity, Iran certification.
Oh, what?
Iran certification, IRAN. It's Iran.
Where you at?
It's on the second page, below qualification statement, or e-verification. Didn't know we had to approve them for it.
Actually, Andy, this could be something to do with federal government putting out for contracts. It has something to do with, you're not doing business with Iran. I think we're excluded.
I know,
I'm
just curious what it was. I saw Iran, and I'm going,
We do a
okay.
lot of federal, whether it be federal, whatever, there's a lot of certification stuff that if they get put on a list, we have to verify that we are not bringing any materials, funds, or labor from Iran, or, I don't know.
I'm just curious.
We have to sign, so
That's true.
I think that's what that's,
That's what he's saying.
yeah, that's what that
I know,
really says.
Okay,
we asked her before.
I just thought I'd ask.
It's true.
There's a lot of stuff you have to do when you're, you just sign usually half the stuff, but that one did pique my interest.
Yeah, you had mine.
And certification, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's Ayatollah approved.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we have breezed through this agenda. Anything else here? Doesn't look like it. I think we're ready for the second reading, please.
Yes, sir. The following appropriation adjustments to county budget for the year 2024 have been considered before the council. General fund, hourly, $34,000. Lease payments, a reduction of $115,960. Psychiatric services, an additional $10,000. Clerk perpetuation fund, contractual services, $15,000. Public safety data tech, contractual, $852. Foundation maintenance agreements tabled. SRO reimbursement fund, perf, an additional $40,000. Fatality review fund, other services and charges, $10,000. Sheriff DEA pro fund, lease payments, an additional of $116,548. Asthma grant, an additional. Other supplies, $2,000. Training and education, $5,300. Printing and office supplies, $1,500. Westchester Public Library rainy day fund, an additional of $953,350. Second reading.
Thank you for that.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Motion and second approved. Reading. Roll call, please.
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Rivas,
Yes.
Brickner,
Yes.
Six.
Very good, thank you. Now we are to the section, any other matter to come before the council. We have a tourism board appointment. I think everybody has a list. We have 4 applicants to fill the vacancy left by Mitch Peters when he resigned. We have Cameron Wild, 1405 Monticello Park Drive, Valparaiso. We have Andy Vasquez, yours is one and only, 49 East, 500 South, Couts. Ryan Peters, 172 Windridge Road, Valparaiso. And George Romero of 216 Cessna Drive in Burns Harbor are 4 applicants to fill the vacancy.
What is the thought with Andy applying? I mean, I watched the video from last meeting that wasn't here. Shameful for the most part, but it makes sense too, possibly if, as a board, we want to have somebody on there. Not opposed to that concept, but, I don't know about getting rid of our, citizen appointment. You know, I think we want citizen engagement. You know, if we want to sit on there, we should ask the commissioners to, you know, maybe have the council president or his proxy, you know, but, you know, have them amend the ordinance.
The spirit of, the spirit of, Andy, I believe applying, when we talked about this at the meeting was having council representation. And if, the commissioners do rewrite the ordinance, I believe we'd get 2 picks, so we'd have a council, pick, and then we'd have a citizen representation pick.
So the commissioners have already,
No, they have not. I'm saying, if they do decide to, you know, put an ordinance and kind of reshuffle how the tourism board is made up.
Well, we have liaisons too that can easily be a communication bridge. So, you know, we seem to be forgetting about that.
Well, you're right, but yeah, the communication bridge wasn't well communicated. So
you're gonna let one thing just disrupt everything? I mean, so all the other boards that have things, you wanna shuffle everything?
no, I just listen. First off, I'm not a commissioner. If I was, it'd already been reshuffled. I'll be honest with you. Second off, we have a council person on the stormwater. We have a council person on the recycling. We have a council person. I believe the president sits on the plan commission. So this isn't something. There might be more. I don't know.
We don't have one on the health department or the opera house
Peterborough.
or Peterborough.
Well, I'm just giving you examples. So, but you know,
I think citizen participation is critical, especially stuff like this. I mean, we're taking away our citizen appointment here. Like Greg said, there's nothing that stops Andy from any of us going to any of their meetings, participating, even late liaison or not.
Right.
But I think if we want, I mean, request.
it killed 2 birds with 1 stone because, no pun intended, Andy, I believe, was on the Doolin Chamber.
Yes.
For a while, you were on the.
I still am.
Still on the Doolin Chamber, correct?
Still in the Dillon Chamber.
And you're on the farmer's market, you go, and I think you started Portage Farmers Market, so.
Yeah.
You do have an interest.
And Miller Beach and River Forest and a few others.
Yeah.
I was on the tourism board years ago, and we made a lot of progress during that time. But I do not choose to be on it this time.
Well, my primary reason was that, well, we do have the availability
Before I
to
was elected.
be at the meeting. By being on the board, participation in regards to a vote would be even more so. That's all.
Not disagreeing. If that's what we want, we should ask the commissioners to, you know, again, maybe have the president, you know, by virtue of office, have a seat, or he could appoint, you know,
Right.
his proxy, which could be any of, you know, whoever he so chooses, but to just us bump a citizen, you know, I think we should stay to that, as much citizen, you know, engagement as we can get.
Well, I'd be willing to table it until we have the commissioners look at this then. Best-
To be I don't think it's going to be an issue, but
We have an extension already on the 30 days.
yeah, we do, yeah. I don't think the tourism board is going to, the statute requires that, or gives us 30 days to make a replacement, and then if not, the tourism board can make the replacement selection for us. I've talked to the new attorney for the tourism board, Pat Clip, and he's indicated that they have no desire to step on our toes or do anything to get in the way of our appointment. But, you know, I would feel most comfortable going back, if we were to table it, going back to him and just getting
Another
agreement.
extension?
Yeah, and I really don't think it's gonna be an issue, but I think we need to definitely do that, or I should do that if we decide to table it. It's not difficult whatsoever to do. but I think we need to, I just wanted to make sure that that was addressed, because there's that slim possibility that, until we get that extension, someone could get a wild hair and
Yeah,
decide to make our appointment on our
I
behalf,
talked
which,
to Christine Livingston, they're supposed to meet Thursday out there, she wants to show me around, and she brought that up, about, hey, we're not looking to fill your appointment. We're not
yeah,
gonna fill
yeah,
your
and that
appointment,
was,
you
that
know,
was,
so
it was.
I mean, it's not.
Well, I've got a meeting with her tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be, I don't think we have to worry about, worry about that.
I think though, quite truthfully, this should be somebody that's not on the council. I think it's important to have input from the public on these boards.
I mean, I think there's 11 people on the board, I think a lot of them are,
Yeah, but this is our appointment.
yeah, you're right, it's our appointment, it'd be nice to know, we have somebody that's sitting here that can tell us monthly if we have any questions, plus we have.
Thus, the liaisons could do that, or like Jeremy has said, any one of us.
But again,
So Brett, if you want to go to one of their meetings and sit in, you're welcome to do that.
again, the liaisons didn't do a good job of communicating, so apparently we have a problem with the liaisons. We they come in front of us with their budget, they, have a lot of money, so.
There was some people that had a problem.
Mitch sat in front of us every time that there was a request. Mitch, more than any board member in this county, sat in front of us, more than any appointed board member, came anytime tourism was in front of us.
If you want a table, we'll table it. I have no
Carol,
problem
there
tabling
isn't anything that prevents a sitting council person from
I just
being
looked
an
to
appointment.
see if there was under the ordinance or the enabling statute, and I don't see anything that would prohibit a sitting or elected official, a sitting councilman or an elected official for that matter, from serving as an appointment. So legally, I don't see any
Doing both.
prohibition against that, but, other than, I think it's more of a political question. So legally, no.
I make a motion, we table it till next month.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, but should we reach out again to Attorney Lip?
Yeah.
And
I will do that tomorrow.
He says, you've had your, I doubt Patrick's gonna say that, but.
It should not be an issue whatsoever. As a lawyer, I worry about worst case scenarios, and even if it's an unlikely event, unlikely events do happen, and so my job is to advise. I'm not worried about it.
Why are we tabling it?
To have commissioners looking possibly change, well, there is no legal reason
Not
why
that I
not to,
see.
that he sees, but to have, I believe this goes back to the commissioners.
This isn't gonna get done by the commissioners in 1 month, but, we can, take some time, review it, and, next month we come back at it, and
Well, can we ask the commissioners, if they'll amend the ordinance to give the president a seat, and we
Yeah,
could
that's
also
how it
have a citizen appointment?
Well, the thing that we're trying to do, Jeremy, is I
That's how
think
it should work.
in the spirit of, I think trying to reorganize it is to have somebody that, per state statute, you probably know better than I, you have to have some type of industry experience in tourism.
Six
So-
have to have some
Six
sort
have
of.
to have some
Yeah.
direct, so I think we're out of balance with that right now, I believe.
I don't know the
Possibly,
answer to that. That's not-
I don't
I've
know,
not
but-
looked into that,
So, my
it's definitely six.
thought process was, Andy has, serves on the chamber, he's a member, he does a farmer's market, he's involved in business, or, he relies on tourists buying his products, so I thought that if there was any one of us that was
Well, plus
qualified, it sure isn't me.
And plus he
So-
wants to do it.
And he wants to do it, so.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
have to want to do it.
He wants to be involved and wants to do it, so.
So I'm trying to see I guess what you're saying is we're gonna lose a citizen.
Yeah, so do those citizens that applied,
Right.
and we're,
So my thing was, as you had mentioned, Jeremy, is that the commissioners redoing the ordinance so that a citizen and, say, a member from this board would be appointed. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, we're not bumping a citizen. I mean, there's always been, there's interest right there. You know, we want citizen engagement, right?
Well, other than losing a citizen appointment, I don't see anything wrong with it personally, but we have a motion and a second to table it, so, if we wanna table
I
it.
think Andy would do a good job if you weren't even on the council, Andy, but
Do we have a motion and a second?
Not,
Yeah, we have a motion and a second to table it.
So unless that's what we wanna do. I personally would like to get this done. And I don't see, again, just speaking, that, I don't see any better person. I don't know who we're gonna find that would serve the tourism board more effectively.
So
than Councilman
what you're
Vasquez.
saying is you do want to replace the private citizen appointment?
Not that I want to, but I think we have an opportunity to put somebody on there that would represent us well.
Or
And
both.
in the way things are, we have somebody from the council who wants to do it, and I think would do a very good job. So, I don't know what difference it makes, to be honest with you, in the scheme of things.
Well, truthfully, I think it's important that the citizens do, when we do have a board, that they have the ability to practice and be a part of government.
I don't dispute that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
is there a motion?
There is a motion and a second.
We have a motion and a second to table it. So I guess we need,
A vote.
yeah, we need a vote, Madam Auditor.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Rivas,
Yes.
Brickner,
No.
and Stone.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries to table us to the next meeting. All right, any other business before we move into the public comment session? Does anybody from the council have anything else to share?
Just anybody having conversations? I met with the one commissioner and a couple of council members about the jail. Or the garage mall and the jail, so, do you guys have anything to report, President Brickner? Have you been talking to the commissioners? I know you were a big advocate last year of, wanting to know where all the money's going, and.
Well, there's two questions. First of all, have I been talking to commissioners? And yes. Do I have any report on any updates for the jail or the county garage? No.
No? All right, well, I know that from our meeting, I think they're opening bids on the 25th. I think they're gonna award on the 2nd for the garage.
You read?
Wanting to start construction in August.
my friend, thank you.
That leaves $6 million for the jail, the roof. I think that's correct, right? But, there's a lot more work to do with the jail. So. And our other buildings, I asked the commissioners to, as we did last year, what other projects do we have that's out there? JDC,
Right.
this roof, anything, and I know, we've gone through a facilities director, so we have a new one. I believe he's trying to get an assessment of all our buildings, and I'm not sure the commissioners are gonna engage Skillman to look at the JDC, to see what that cost could be potentially. So, knowing what's out there in terms of large capital projects, $6 million isn't gonna get it done in the jail.
Well, I don't know, is there a question somewhere on what you're talking, or just talking?
Just talking.
Commissioner Regnut was here on an unrelated issue, sitting in front of us, and, you could have asked her while she was here.
I asked her, a number of questions. I don't know what conversations you're
I
having
didn't hear you ask her anything.
when we met.
No, I mean, when she was sitting right here, You seem to have these questions, or are you just talking, or is there?
I'm asking, I mean, you had a lot of
Is there a
questions.
question in your comments? or
Yeah,
you just
what
talking?
information do you know about what's going on? What information do you know about this project?
I just-
Are we gonna approve the rest of the money and pay for that $18 million garage? Is that the direction for sure of the council? I mean, that, again, we have a JDC out there, we have a lot of buildings out there. We have basically $25 million. They're going out with an $18 million garage project, leaving, again, $6 million basically for a jail, which isn't gonna get it done. So, yeah, I think these conversations need to be happening publicly. So whether it's a question or not, I know you sat here last year and was like, I wanna know where this is going. I want a list of everything. I mean, do we know what's out there? We're just gonna, at the beginning, finish approving an $18 million project that corners us really on some other large capital projects that are out there.
Well,
Or, I mean, we've spent a lot of time this year talking about, a $200,000, payout, but we're not spending any time discussing $25 million. But I didn't mean to bother you on $25 million of taxpayer money.
Jeremy, you know what? My gosh.
Gosh, it's
known the whole, you have known, you've been involved, you know what they're doing with the.
Haven't been a fan of it. Haven't been a fan of it.
With the garage and the jail.
And haven't been a fan of it.
I mean,
Are we to not talk about this stuff, $25 million in a public meeting?
we've had studies, we've talked about different stuff, and I don't know, what more you wanna talk about? I mean, I think we've talked about this at nauseam, maybe we can.
Not publicly this year.
I mean, you went to a jail, or the garage meeting, right? Did you share your?
I did, yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
Your yeah.
Absolutely.
You shared
We all
your,
shared our concerns.
is there concerns, is there
We-
discussed, and talk about it here?
Quite truthfully, we shared our concerns that we were not getting any information on what the plan is, what the project, and we saw it that day. When we had the meeting, what was that, 3 weeks ago, maybe?
About 3 weeks.
2 weeks? Whatever. That's when we found out what information we were given.
You know what, I do meet with the commissioners, Commissioner Biggs, and how about, ask for, we could get an update for our next meeting.
And that'd be fine.
Yeah.
That'd be
We
good.
can do that. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
It does sound good.
Okay,
Any communication is really appreciated.
we can get an update.
We just tossed a guy off a board because he wasn't communicating, but we're about ready to spend $25 million and it's hard.
Jeremy, we
to-
talked, first off, we didn't toss a guy out, he resigned. and
You
sent
attempted
off.
to.
If you can answer why somebody got paid $225,000, anybody on that side can answer, I'd like to know it, because I still don't know it. And I, like I said, was the one up here that did the most digging, and I still don't know why the taxpayers foot the bill for $225,000 for someone who's not working. That does not happen in county government. It should never happen in county government. So when you conflate a garage and $225,000, that's wrong.
We've settled with employees in the past. I don't know.
Quite truthfully, there was a contract that had to be,
Yeah.
Again, if you can answer why she is gone,
no, your question was, can you tell me why we had to pay $225,000?
why is she gone?
I don't know why she's gone. We all sat in that room, I can't really tell you, except she signed the contract. First of all, the contract was signed by Mitch Peters for her to be employed. Okay, that is a contract. I wasn't aware that he had that right to have a contract, but apparently he did. Now, she agreed that she would resign.
No, she did not.
None of us can
She
really
did not
say why.
She was forced to resign. She said here publicly, I did not want to resign. She did not want to resign. So we still to this day don't know.
Why did she sign the paper then?
Well, because let's see, you're 56 years old, you're reinforced out, you're going to lose your health care coverage, kind of hard to find a job, and county government is telling you, you know what, for some reason we want to go a different direction.
Well,
11 board members and 2 attorneys.
my point
Jeremy,
is,
you
it's
should have been
our
at the
job
last
as a
meeting, you
council.
have asked all these
As a
questions,
council,
but it
we
was
pay the
five
bills.
executive.
And we had a bill in front of us, and that's what we were doing. We settled the bill.
Back to the original thing, which was the garage. All the rest of that is history. We all know that it happened and there's nothing we can do about it. That's,
That's what we wish.
We took,
would've
well, we took a
happened.
vote, and Mitch Peters was not removed. The vote was to not remove him,
Yeah, so there
and
it
he
is.
resigned. Later, on his own free will. Nobody forced him to do that. He could have stayed.
I
So-
can't argue with that.
So I think that this issue.
This issue's gone.
Past this issue, and we'll get, just talk, was whispering to Joy, but we'll have Commissioner try and give us an update on Jeremy's comments about the garage status, the jail status for our next meeting.
Yeah, and what's next?
So we can kind of
JDC,
get up to date on what that is for everybody.
I mean, it's 6 million on the jail is not gonna, it's a roof. So,
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Communication, that's all.
well, and to finish that, you guys, Mike, you said you met with commissioners about the ambulance stuff last meeting. I mean, what is going on? I mean, I think it's,
My last meeting with the commissioners, we didn't talk about
no, you said you had talked to the commissioners about the ambulance.
about the what?
The last meeting, you stated that you had talked to Commissioner Biggs about the ambulance service, what was going on with that.
Yeah, there are no answers on that 100% at this point. You know, and if I do get something that is, this group will be the first to know what I know. Yeah, it's still a work in progress.
I mean, we all saw that email that came across. And
Yeah,
I don't agree with contracting out public safety,
yeah.
at all. You guys, I think anybody I've talked to knows that I'd rather have every community have professional emergency services, available around the clock, not contracting. I know you wouldn't be okay with contracting a security company to provide police, or, I'm not saying, Northwest Health it's a for-profit private business that's covering half the county for ambulance service, and there seems to be an issue out there.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be some, we're gonna have our work cut out for us when it comes to, some things coming down the pike. There's no question about it. How to pay for it.
Or what it looks like, not just how to pay for it. I'm not gonna continue to support giving money to a private entity that I don't, at least in my opinion, there seems to be some issues there. Are they, not only what we saw in that email, but, are they living up to the contract? I mean, what else is out there,
Which email?
Yeah,
That most of their employees signed that was basically saying that no confidence in the director.
Oh,
I mean, that's not a good thing.
I've seen him, as far as, I don't even know if there's any follow-through. He's been at some meetings continuously, so I guess he's still the director. Yeah. I haven't seen any follow-up in reference to that, being copied on that.
Yeah, I would just pick up 911, call because a family member, something's going on. I think we want the best for every citizen in this county.
Yeah, I agree.
Not, well, maybe we're a rig short today because we had to transport this way, or we should be providing the best services.
Is that what they're doing?
Well, might wanna figure out. I mean, something's going on that all those employees signed at no confidence. Why? What's going on?
I don't know.
It's emergency services. So we pay for it. We fund that, so.
maybe that's something you can discuss with.
Well, I know that he's an employee of Northwest Health that hires that individual,
Okay.
not us. I know that,
We don't have that control.
we have an
but-
interest, but as far as, their employees, from what I understand, that's a Northwest Health,
What was the date on
hospital
that email?
issue.
Remember?
Yeah.
Had been 2 months now. Yeah, I mean, Sims,
Remember that email?
Greg brought it up, but
Yeah.
That's a while ago.
I mean, some of us fortunate enough to live in municipalities where we have, the professionals, on standby, in Portage or Valpo or,
Might check that.
I just think some of these other areas, in my opinion, they deserve better. We need to make sure we have the best available anywhere in this county. Somebody picks up 911 because a loved one has gone down or something.
Well, anytime you have the employees, and did you say 100%?
No.
Well, let me say,
What if-
I'm just gonna share this, is that, I think that as a councilman, I've shared this with a couple other council members, is that we have I'm not saying we don't have an interest, but, we don't have a say in that.
We fund.
That is, that's why I say we have an interest, but those are not our employee. He's
No.
our employee.
100%, it's contracted to a private business.
But, as far as, we have a lot of other issues at hand as well that are our responsibility and under our umbrella as a council. And to start getting distracted on things that.
If you think, if
not in our.
somebody having a heart attack going down,
I'm just
distracted.
I'm just trying to explain my thought. I let you talk, that we do not hire that individual. He is not our employee. He is an employee of Northwest Regional. And that is their issue, that they are the primary entity to be dealing with. I'm not saying we don't have an interest in it and maybe what the outcome is, but, I feel reluctant to really, stick my nose in something that is not, he's not our employee. And, again, it's just my thought that we have a lot of other issues that we needed to address as a council that are our responsibility, number one priority. And I guess that is what I would like my.
Well, emergency services and public safety is pretty high up on my list.
Jeremy, who would you have represent EMS?
Jeremy,
We know who you don't want.
high on everybody's list of public.
Who would you want to represent the county? I live out in the county.
Important, that's not.
Okay, so it's important to me, and I have the Morgan Township Fire Department. They come and respond, and they're pretty good, and so is Counts, so I understand the point. So who would you like to see? I mean, what suggestions would you have if we wanted to get away from Northwest Health?
Modernizing, our emergency services, to me, is going into fire territories, the combination of cities and towns and townships, and creating fire territories so every area is covered by full-time professional.
So your suggestion would be a fire territory?
I think it's time to modernize that. We shouldn't be contracting half this county out to a private business for emergency services.
Have you talked to any of the fire departments about this?
We tried to start the conversation, Andy Bozick and I, a couple of years ago. And we tried to go down this path of having this conversation.
And what happened?
Center Township has.
Didn't go very far. Commissioner Biggs didn't want anything to do with it.
Well, I've talked with the fire chiefs of South County. None of them want it.
Yeah, well, it's not gonna be an easy conversation. It's gonna.
Oh, yeah, I trust me, the minute I mentioned it, I thought they're gonna get a rope and, hang me.
They may not want it, but what is best? I mean, if we could modernize it and create, its fire territories and be able for them to.
It would be my suggestion then, that we get these individuals, fire chiefs of the unincorporated areas, both north and south, east and west, wherever the county is, and have them come to a meeting and hear them out, and then seeing how you are a proponent of fire territories, explain to them, or have someone that you would pick explain to them why a fire territory is in the best interest of these individuals who do not live in a city proper or town proper. I mean, that would be the most logical step, would it not, sir?
Yeah, conversation has to start, and why it matters, Mr. Brickner, is that we fund it, and we have a contract, and I don't know if the contract's up this year, next year, but the last contract did not include, I believe, Chesterton or Burns Harbor. That's been now handed over to us, to cover that area, so that contract's gonna skyrocket, I would imagine.
Probably, yeah.
And that's.
We're anticipating.
Porter,
Increase.
Porter,
Chesterton and Burns Harbor, I believe. Porter tried, I was on the redevelopment commission at the time, and they tried like heck, took money out of their funds, and they depleted their funds. They couldn't keep their ambulance service going.
What would the cost in comparison be how we're doing with Northwest Health now be to a fire territory? Would anybody look at that?
Look at what?
The cost of operating a fire territory as opposed to giving cash to Northwest Health?
I'm sure you would have to get whatever units would agree to come together
And that's-
and do a study of some sort if they could agree.
Center Township has an excellent fire territory. Our taxes did go up. I live in Center Township, but not extraordinarily.
The fire
And-
territory was established with the Valparaiso Fire Chief at the time, Dave Nondorf,
Nondorf.
and the Center
That's
Township
right.
trustee.
Exactly.
Had nothing to do with the other city council, wasn't, they were kept informed, but
But
it
the
was.
people
yeah,
accepted it.
Right.
The
So
people.
that was,
we-
and what I think Councilman Vasquez is saying, really the fire chiefs and the trustees, I mean, that's where that funding and that initiative started,
Yeah.
and how it
But
came
it
to
ended
fruition.
up being a tax increase because I talked with Chief Nondorf at that time. And he asked me what my concern, and I asked him how much the taxes would go up. Because again, I'm not in favor of, taxes going up because I'm a senior citizen. And he explained to me what it was, and I think it was minimal, like 14 cents or something like that.
It wasn't too much.
No, it was very acceptable.
Well, once again, we need to get with the unincorporated areas, our chiefs, and get them together, give them the facts as we know them for a fire territory, and see how they respond to it, okay? Regardless of whatever torches and rope they bring, because like I said, I talked to several of them, and they were not happy. They feel they can respond professionally to all the fire and EMS needs, and that's their opinion. If they have facts on paper that can prove, what they're saying, it'll be an uphill sell, I'll tell you that right now, a fire territory.
Well, I can honestly say I have no qualms.
Unless it goes to a
I live in
referendum.
Incorporated Center Township. My husband had a stroke, and I made one call, and I was on the phone with a lady from 911, and he was taken very well care of. Within a matter of 20 minutes, he was in the hospital and received therapy, and he has no symptoms from that.
Yeah, let's see, I have called the 911 for Morgan Township Fire in about the same amount of time from my house to where Porter is now, 20 minutes or less, they had me there. So this is why I say, these guys will say, I happened to be there when a fire went. I went to go visit, and they were throwing up some type of party for the community, and the alarm went off. And I gotta tell you, it was something like out of a movie. These guys were in their suits, they just, and gone in less than a minute.
They're dedicated.
Yeah, they're very dedicated, so like I said, it's gonna be a hard sell, but if it is in the best interest of the county, you're gonna have to sell it. And
I
that's,
think we're talking about ambulance service though, but it's fire territory that's blended in with it, yeah.
right,
But-
and so Morgan has both EMS and fire. So, like I said, and so does Couts for that matter. And the majority of the unincorporated areas down south do, because pretty much down in South County, we're left to fend for ourselves.
And that, whatever that cost may be, moving forward with the new municipalities that are under our responsibility now that's not providing that ambulance service, that, with that increased price tag, when it comes, where's that funding source coming from?
Good question. Like, all these things need to be, once again,
Oh, go ahead.
we need to get these people together and get some information from them, give them information that those that are proposing fire territory, so they can have a logical decision to make. And let it go to the newspapers, let the people of the county see it, let them decide as to how they want their services. Some in the south end may not want it, some in the north end may, or vice versa. Or they may all want it, or may all not want it. But we don't know until we get these facts, figures to the people who are not only doing the job, but who are gonna need the services. And that, it's gonna be a big step, and it's not gonna happen overnight, but that's the first step in doing it, Like I said, we know it's not liked, how do we correct it? That's all, simple.
I don't know how long we've been providing ambulance services to, say, Porter and Chesterton. I think it's been a while. pay county taxes, we had hospital funds. I mean, there's something to say that, you know, I know Portage and Valparaiso has their own, and, you know, God bless them, but if they can't pay for it, I think it's incumbent upon us to make sure that everybody in the county gets good ambulance service.
I think the last big situation with the ambulance was Bill Carmichael and NOPAC. That was the last, that
Yeah.
was the beginning. I'm not saying I'm that old, I'm just.
So it's an important situation, in my opinion. It's one of the most, it's one of the most pressing things you can have is good ambulance service. So,
I think that
I
if
will-
we had poor ambulance service, wouldn't the people be?
Yes, that's
having
what,
just an
no, that's why I
outcry?
want to say, we have to be very, I think, in my opinion, we have to be careful here tonight, saying, you know, there's, I don't know how many people, 8, 10 people, 12, whatever, saying their poor leadership versus our citizens saying, hey, we have bad ambulance service. I mean, my mom had health issues, her ambulance came Northwest, they were great, they came there very timely, they were great. So I don't think this is an issue of bad ambulance service versus employees having an issue with their boss. Everybody has issues with their boss. That's up to Northwest to, you know, get that situation under control, and I'm sure that they will. I mean,
Are we certain?
Is a very good hospital. They don't want to have that out in the open like their ambulance service isn't no good. And you know, Jeremy, they
32 people signed it, right?
I don't know how many people I was.
Yeah,
Just,
and do we know what their true concerns were? Why 32 people would come sign that? Was it just, I don't like the way you manage me every day? Or are they aware of something bigger that, you know, they're trying to get, you know, people's attention?
So how do we find that out?
I don't know.
Well, Mike said he had talked to
Well, when it comes
Mr. Biggs.
down to the ambulance contract.
I think we need to dig in on this one and.
Like I said, I'd be concerned if they were, those 32 people, I will guarantee, while they might have a problem with that leader, I guarantee they are professionals, and I guarantee they're all gonna do a good job when they come to your house. That much I will tell you. You can be pissed at your boss, but you're gonna be professional and do your dang job. And I will guarantee everyone that drives in those ambulances are going to do a dang good job going to anybody's house in Chesterton, Porter, Burns Harbor, or the county. So,
Not saying that, but they're speaking up too.
but you're right, but when you said professionals, like Portage's professionals, and kind of they are, we have to be very careful here. They are our ambulance service provider.
They're a for-profit business. I would rather,
And I think their last contract, I don't want to speak out of turn, I thought was pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Seemed to me.
Won't be that, yeah, because they added.
I don't know what they get or what they don't get, but it seemed pretty reasonable to me for a for-profit person, so,
They were.
to give us, what was it, 4, 5, 6
Because they gave
ambulances?
quite a break on.
Well, we'll have to decide, you know, whatever the new cost comes in, is that what we want to continue to fund? Because we have to fund it, this council.
Well, and I'm sure they're gonna have conversations, and we can be in that meeting, and we can go over the numbers, and we can hammer them, you know, just like I hammer all my vendors when they come in my office, and I say, hey, you know what? This cost isn't gonna work. It has to be lower.
Been trying for years to have this conversation out front before we continue to get to points where we don't have any choices. So.
I think
This is a good
fire
start.
territories are gonna take a long time. I think it's great to talk about, great to have conversation out there, but, I think that's gonna be a couple years off before the fire territories.
Mr. President?
Yep. I'm sorry.
Go, it's up to you. Where are we going now?
All right, any other, this good conversation. Any other business before the council, before we open up for public comment? Anybody have anything else to share?
I don't, well, thank you.
Okay,
Oh, I do. Sorry.
all right.
In regards to 911, it's not only for ambulance or police service. We had that storm, and then in South County, half mile down the road from me, we had 7 telephone poles. Looked like some kid just took them and snapped them in half.
I saw pictures on Facebook.
Okay? And we had one leaning like it was gonna go into the road and looked like the wires were going to break. So I had a couple of people call me down the road. They said, you're our councilman, right? And they said, you ought to take a look at this. So I drove down there and I called 911, and the young lady on there said, hey, I asked her, I don't know if this is the right thing to do, and I told her the situation. She goes, well, we can call REMC. And I said, no, I want to make you aware that we got a pole, looks like it's ready to go on the road. And that's pretty dangerous because unless it's sparking, you're not gonna see it. And somebody may hit it and then it sparks. And she goes, oh, okay, I understand. So within an hour of that call to 911, and I don't know whether they had a part in getting REMC out there, making them understand the severity of the situation. Within an hour of that phone call that I made, we had REMC out there, and then they were working on, they had the poles up before morning. So it was great, and if 911, they're not here, I'm sorry, I should have probably said something when she was here. But if they did have a part in it, I think it's kudos go to them by understanding the severity that the area which was affected. And so, good job, 911. That's it.
Very good.
Chesterton did win sectionals in baseball.
Yes.
Just for all you baseball fans out there. 7-4 against Flout. Like I said, all you baseball fans out there.
Morgan Township girls softball.
Didn't Valpo baseball win sectionals too?
No, Valpo.
Valpo?
Hebron, there.
Valpo.
South County.
So.
That was a big
Valpo,
upset.
Some pub too?
Yeah, Valpo got upset by, I think Crown Point, I believe, which was a pretty big upset. So we play Lake Central down in LaPorte, and it's gonna be, hey, listen, I'm just gonna, the pitchers we have in high school, like when we played probably, these kids are crazy. I mean, they're throwing 80, 90 miles an hour. I mean, it's the stuff that they do, man, God bless them. You see some real athletes out there when you watch these kids play baseball. And I'm talking all the teams. They all have studs. Portage, Lake Central, Crown Point.
Portage.
And all these. No, they do. All these. The DAC has a good baseball program. So.
Let's build some baseball fields. Get maybe a minor league team here.
Nice.
There you go.
Economic development.
Do you know any pitchers that are?
Kind of lighter. No?
Well,
It generate money.
the county is Rock City. It's being very.
They build it, they will come.
A lot of people visiting it.
We can use the
Everybody
proceeds.
should have the opportunity to go out
For
and
the
see it.
The only question I have is who wants to go home?
Well, we got the attorneys, public comment, attorneys report, Andy.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's move on.
any other council news? Okay, I'm gonna shut down our council meeting and open up for public comment. Do we have any public comment? Go once, going 3 times, and we're done. I'm closing the public comment. Let me see, attorney's report.
I will reach out to the tourism board attorney and get that extension. The only other thing I was gonna ask, Mr. President, is, I don't, did we vote on, September?
Oh, the minutes.
Minutes. I didn't know if we had
We
voted
did
on.
not. I
Okay.
think we skipped the
Okay.
minutes. I
We
make
can
a
always do it
motion.
next meeting. I just, that was, I.
Is it good? Are we good with the next meeting? We can, okay. We skipped over the minutes, Mike.
Well, he rushed his, first reading a little bit, that's all.
Oh, okay. All right, we skipped
It's,
that.
it's, Mr. President, it's September last year. It's not a huge.
They've got excited in this.
For dinner. I did too.
Okay, no attorney's reports, we skipped the minutes. Be on the next agenda. Anything else before we adjourn the meeting? Okay,
Thank you.
very good.
Yep.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you. All right.
I am going to ice my.
Oh, yeah.